Welcome to the APTA's second stop on the Grand Prix Tour, the Chicago Charities, sponsored by the APTA's national sponsors, Viking and Uline, and local sponsors, North Shore Orthopedic Institute, Fields Automotive Group, Walled Lake Planning and Wealth Management, and the Messina Group. We are live from the Glenview Club in Gulf, Illinois, on the APTA network, presented by eNet Live. I'm Jerry Viant, along with Mark Fischel and our guest commentator, Max Lapavere, for the men's final between the number 7 seeds, Sven Burus and Max Irdoja, and the number 3 seed, actually it's Mick Irdoja, sorry, and the number 3 seeds, Czerwinski and Graham McNerney. And Mark, we're not sure what we're going to see right now.
Yeah, so it was interesting, Jerry, as we went through our Viking keys to victory, which we'll get to in a moment. You know, normally when we're in the finals of a big tournament like this, it's teams that we've seen played multiple times. So here, looking at our players, you have Sven Burus. He's out of the New Canaan Country Club of New Canaan. He's director of platform tennis there, and he's wearing a yellow jacket, which you'll see when we go to the court. Mick Irdoja is at Essex Fells. He's the lefty playing the deuce side. On the far side is Czerwinski. Modic's at the Onwensia Club, and Graham McNerney is wearing the blue hat.
So Max, let's take a look at the full court screen here, and if you could just walk us through each player and just point out some of the strengths that these players have individually.
Yeah, sure. Starting with Marek, super athletic. I mean, the athleticism on the court is beyond anything you've ever seen. All 4 of these players are ridiculous athletes. Marek, huge forehand, very quick. He actually drives backhands and has a lot of offense at the net. Lots of cut shots. He rolls the ball really well. Switching over to Graham. Graham is kind of like the mastermind of the team. He's very smart. He hits very specific spots on the court and really looks to break people down. He also has great forehand, a lot of waterfalls at the net. You'll see a lot of that, and great hands. Switching over to the other side, you have Mick Irdoja playing the deuce side. Arguably the most athletic guy in paddle tennis these days. He covers so much court, humongous forehand, lots of patience, and great shot selections. At the net, he's known for hitting a really big roller. And then you have his partner, Mr. Burus. You haven't seen him as much. He hasn't played a lot the last couple of years. He played with Roman. I think he played a few PFP events, and this is his first NRT or Grand Prix. And great backhand, forehand, doesn't drive it very often, but great serve as well, has a lot of spin. Terrific player.
And Mark, you called both semi-final matches, so give us a Reader's Digest on each match that you called.
Well, the match that was the hardest one to get your arms around was the Czerwinski, McNerney, Araya Broderick match, because Araya was so bad, it's hard to tell how much of that was because Czerwinski, McNerney played well or he just played poorly. The other match with Burus and Irdoja, when their win over Compton Kaler, they played really well, and they played really well down the stretch, which is something they both struggled with a little bit, getting tight.
I watched the last part of the third set for that, and what impressed me was their team chemistry. There was a lightness about it. I mean, even though it was deep in the third set, they were laughing and talking with each other, and Burus was being set up with his backhand, but he was looking to set up Mick Irdoja, and they were chatting in between a lot, and I haven't seen them play together, so I'm interested to see what the matchup is going to be. We discussed with the Viking keys to success, and it was interesting. We're going to bring them up. So we've got Burus Irdoja, and I've never seen Mick that patient.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the battle he fights. When you're that talented with that many shots, it's harder to be patient.
Yeah, I mean, he stayed in the points. There was a willingness. Sometimes he can go off the reservation for a bit and then come back in, dialed in, but he seemed like he was really dialed in the whole way. And Max, we were talking about things that they need to do, avoid Czerwinski's forehand?
So clean. The forehand is a thing of beauty. You can't serve anywhere to Czerwinski. He returns clean, perfectly clean balls every time, and it's got so much authority behind it. It's hard to follow it up to the net. A lot of formations you'll need to do on that.
And I think on this, and as long, this is their first final together, if they take that sense of fun into the final with them.
I think one of the advantages they've got is Irdoja's got a terrific serve to the deuce court, and that may mitigate a little bit the Czerwinski return.
I think you'll see Czerwinski take some cuts early on just to see if he can get going with it. But it'll be certainly interesting. Mick's got a great deuce-side serve.
Are we waiting for these guys or anything? There's no, don't stay there.
And the keys
They would've told me.
to success for Czerwinski, McNerney. Obviously avoid the big thumping forehand of Mick in the middle.
And then you really want to bait Burus. You want to make him hit that forehand. And what we saw in the semis was a refusal to hit it on their terms, only on his.
How far over will Mick come? Like you're trying to bait?
I don't think he'll come as far over as the second court, but I do think he's going to roam a long way to the middle. And Mick loves doing that.
He does, okay. And the waterfall.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. They just have to be very careful hitting too many of those. Both Mick and Sven are so athletic, and they bank on hitting the ball high above the net, so they'll eat up those down-up overheads. The waterfall is it's not the best shot for this specific matchup.
And as you said, Jerry, it's really a huge staple of McNerney's game.
Yeah. And the temperature is like 40 degrees. It's cloudy. I mean, it's like perfect paddle weather. It's the same as yesterday. You can really just...
All right, this is the final. Congratulations.
Oh, here's our umpire.
You guys are making your own calls. I will overrule a call if you ask me to. If I do overrule it, that's a loss of point. It's not a matter of a replay or anything like that. We got people here. We got the microphones. Keep any language to a minimum. No need for any of that. If you guys hit me or hit the chair, on accident, I hope, that's a loss of point. We'll switch balls after 7 games. Anything else? Spin away. Spin it up.
Viking Athletics is the premier brand and the undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The official paddle of the APTA, engineered to provide superior feel and the perfect balance of power, control, spin, and durability. The Viking paddle is the official paddle of the APTA, the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour, and of Max Lipavere.
Thank you.
You love that Viking paddle, don't you?
Yeah.
So do you think one team having a 3-set battle over the other team having a straight set win, the physicality of the way the sport is now, or are these guys just in great shape, Max?
Great question. I don't think today you'll see them too tired. Both teams look fresh. I don't think the Caller-Compton win really took too much out. It was a physical match, but both of these guys are in great shape. I don't think that will play a part in this match.
And not just the physicality, but mentally. It's having to hang in there.
It's really important for Mick and Sven to get off to a good start. They need to get a couple games going early on so that the confidence stays high. I think that's a key for them as well to do well in this match. If they start slowly, Czerwinski and McNerney will jump on them quickly.
You worried about nerves for them, Max?
Maybe more on Sven, less on Mick. But no, they're pretty good. They've played a lot of big matches.
How about game plan? Who do you think in that team has come up with the strategy?
Good question. I'm curious to see the pace of play we're going to see today. Czerwinski, McNerney like to play relatively fast.
So that's Marek Czerwinski serving.
And just interestingly enough, Jerry, Irdoja and McNerney played together last weekend at the PFP event.
Love 15.
And had Hughes and Powers and all sorts of trouble serve for the match at 6-5 in the second set. So they're intimately familiar with each other's games.
Yep. And this is Sven Burus receiving serve.
Oh, a couple of confident cuts. Irdoja with the running one-hand topspin backhand.
You
and
say
a smile on his face after he hit it.
Yeah, and you say avoid his forehand, but he can also thump his backhand.
Great action early. Burus and Irdoja look very comfortable.
And the speed of play is slow. It's going to be a filling out.
Who do you think the speed favors, Max? Who wants to play fast?
I think Mick and Sven would rather play slow, and I think Graham and Marek would rather have a little more pace. They have a lot of offense. There you go.
Good bail from Irdoja there. And normally the faster play benefits the more athletic, the one with the best skills, and I might argue the one with the most skills in the court is Irdoja.
McNerney wants that
being
fast
15,
exchange,
15,
right,
30.
with quick hands.
Yep. Irdoja always said he wanted to play like Johan.
Johan Durant.
30 all.
You'll see Marek likes to serve for the corners on both sides. You have to take the returner server off the deck. He tends to hit the nick very often. You'll see it here.
Where they came up with so many of those volleys after poor overheads in the semis. They just had all the answers.
They always seem to be in the right spot. Talking about McNerney and Czerwinski.
That's what we were
40,
talking about.
30.
He got lucky there, but McNerney's got to be careful with that waterfall overhead. I mean, he's
McNerney is
drilling
laughing it off. He knows he escaped.
He could be pegged.
There's a good forehand from Burus.
Oh.
Irdoja. If Irdoja's not falling on the ground, he's not trying.
It's again fast points.
Great
Benefits
play.
Game,
Czerwinski and
Czerwinski, they
McNerney.
lead 1-love
You know,
per
for a
set.
big guy, he sneaks right in, right? I mean, he is.
He's got such a great sense of when to do it.
Yeah.
The movement is good, but it's more the sense and the understanding of what his opponent is looking at.
Yeah, I mean, you almost want a camera on him away from the ball because he's just right there, but quietly. Just want to thank one of our sponsors. Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Uline, the best selection products and people for an unforgettable customer experience.
There's the forehand they're looking to avoid. And Max, we talked last night, Brad and I, about how good Czerwinski is hitting that forehand moving to the center of the court, which is really unusual.
Yeah, he really hovers over it. He lets the ball get close to him and he really thumps it. It's an awkward look for most players, but he seems to love it.
His consistency on it is remarkable.
Yeah, there's so few spots on the do sides to hit to him. Very few safe places.
I see they're hitting these overheads into Irdoja's backhand.
Oh, that's too good. You can see again how these guys are playing fast.
Love
and
15.
really trying to force Mick and Sven into some bad errors, bad decisions.
Bunch of short lobs there hurt him. And Mick breaks out
Love
the
30.
underhand serve to McNerney. That's surprising to me, Cherry.
Well, because McNerney likes to swing at a higher point, and the ball is bouncing up, so he's probably trying to get him to hit up on the return of serve.
Yeah, but McNerney's return of serve is not what you think of as a weapon. Doesn't really merit avoiding. Boy, that's unbelievable. He was in so much trouble there. Wow.
That's a heavy,
great
heavy
forehands.
forehand.
Love
Yep.
40.
That forehand does so much damage. It's so low over the net, hard to read.
There's got to be a reason for that serve.
Look at that patience by McNerney on that low ball. Great pickup. I think that one was off the snowboard, Cherry.
Take a look at McNerney on the left. You see him sneaking in. He's constantly looking to move forward.
And look how far over Czerwinski is moving to look for that forehand. Hit both feet in the left side of the center hash.
So that's Mikadora's the lefty. Hitting the overhead now. His partner Sven Burus.
Oh, what a pickup volley.
Smart bail flick lob by McNerney. Get his team out of trouble.
Great footwork by Czerwinski. Oh, what a volley from Burus.
Great point.
Fabulous point. Yep.
Spectacular play.
Yep.
Game, Czerwinski, McNerney.
Oh, McNerney
They
came
lead
up a
2-0
little
for
lame
set.
there, Jerry. Kind of hobbled over.
He's retying his shoelace.
Again, we're seeing these fast-paced points. I really think they have to slow down, as in Burus and
Uh-oh. He's limping.
Irdoja.
I didn't see what happened.
I think his foot slipped off the shoe. The shoe wasn't tied properly, and the heel came off.
No, I got stuck. I just came in, hit it.
He said he got stuck. We can see that point again. I think Kelly Diesel's got it on replay. Let's take a look at it and see if we can pick up what happened.
Oh, he
Oh,
went
yeah.
over on his ankle.
Kind of caught a heel there.
Yep. He caught the whole left side.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's that point.
there.
There,
Yep.
right there. Yep.
Okay, back to live action. Hopefully this is nothing severe. You can see the way he's standing. He's putting a lot of the weight on the right foot.
2-love.
Okay, after a good start, that's 6 consecutive points for Czerwinski and McNerney. Irdoja had won the first 2. 8 consecutive points, sorry.
15-love.
Bad decision by Irdoja to drive the ball. Didn't come off as much as he expected. Should have loved it.
15 off.
McNerney's laboring a little bit.
Yeah.
You could see that serve. Didn't really push off on it. Thump.
15-30.
Boy, and there you see he was
Yep.
slow getting in.
15-40.
It's usually one of the things he does exceptionally well. Barely made the surface line there.
He's hopping in.
Yeah. That's a ball Irdoja's got to be careful of. Czerwinski on the net.
Burus Irdoja should test
Great
the
spot.
footwork.
Great spot there from Irdoja.
McNerney moving very gingerly on
Yeah,
that
he is.
outside. That doesn't look good. Hope it's nothing serious.
There's the hammer.
You see McNerney start to move
Game,
in.
Burus Irdoja, Czerwinski, McNerney lead 2-1 first set.
McNerney is not moving very well.
Boy, it's almost surprising when Czerwinski misses the forehand. It happens so rarely.
We would like to thank one of our other sponsors. Fusion Sports is your source for high-end custom apparel. Fusion offers pro shop management, tournament favors, corporate branded gear, and youth sports. Fusion is an official supplier of apparel and the exclusive provider of tournament favors to the APTA.
Jerry, big shout out to Andrekova and Zabori yesterday, the
Yes.
2019 Charities winner. That was a spectacular match.
It was a great match and a fabulous women's tournament. I mean, with lots of upsets, 3 out of the top 4 seeds went out, and the level of play was outstanding.
And Zabori, after serving for the match at 5-2 in the second, looked like she had scrambled eggs in her brains and managed to put it back together in the third set. Really kudos for regaining her poise.
And I think she thanked her partner, Martina Andrekova, for keeping her mentally in that match.
Interesting to see if they make any adjustments for McNerney's malady.
Max, if you were playing against McNerney right now, knowing what's happening with his ankle,
I think you make a slight game change and test his movement a little bit. Maybe a couple cutters, some rollers. Maybe hit a few hard balls at him and just try to test his movement. As bad as it sounds, if someone's injured and still playing, you have to use that to your advantage.
Absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see if he really is badly injured, how fast Czerwinski will decide to play and if he'll force the shots.
that was from the service line. He hit that cut.
He hits that very often and successfully. It's a great shot. It's almost nonchalant, so casual.
Yeah.
I was on the receiving end of that shot a couple weeks ago at Indian Trails. There we go. We're seeing them attack Grammar a little bit more. Bad mistake. That's a
30.
reach overhead. That should have backed up, let the ball drop. Felt forced to reach up for it. Led to an easy error.
And push it back to the middle of the court, right?
Sure.
Don't go for that big an angle when you're outside of the service box.
Love 40.
Burus gets caught in transition there. That's a ball he should have bailed on. Max, you played tournaments with Irdoja, you played tournaments with Burus.
I have. They're both great guys, super positive, you know, working hard, never giving up, and so athletic. Really fun to play with both. Oh, the volley by Burus.
After a really bad overhead from Irdoja.
It looks like they're pressing. Yeah. Playing too fast. Not willing to play the long points.
McNerney, Czerwinski, they lead 3-1 first
And
set.
you see Irdoja looking to do too much.
Sure. As I was saying earlier, the fast pace really benefits McNerney and Czerwinski.
McNerney catches the nick.
15
Other
love.
than that one hard overhead Irdoja hit at him, you didn't see them looking to test his movement at all.
He looks like he's moving a little better now.
Czerwinski and McNerney doing a really good job finding safe spots on the court, preventing the other team from creating any type of offense.
But you don't see Burus looking for his backhand at all. He's playing very passively back there.
I mean, they really do have to stay patient and wait for that right shot. Because if they drive from too far back, you know, McNerney's just he's looking for the drop.
There's the backhand.
Good volley.
And Irdoja tries
30,
a
love.
low forehand. Got to do better with that. Can't hit the left hip of McNerney from there. I'm surprised Irdoja is letting so many of those serves through to the wires.
Czerwinski serves with a topspin serve, and the ball's kind of heavy when it comes off the serve. Some players
30,
don't like to take
15.
it off the deck. It's a heavy ball. It doesn't sit up. It just bounces into you.
It's a great shot of the Glenview club. Clubhouse was packed last night, and it's filling up right now for the men's final. Chicago
40,
Paddle
15.
League is such an enthusiastic group of people, right?
The men's league is the biggest league in the country, and the women's league is the second biggest league in the country.
Game, Czerwinski, McNerney,
Wow,
they
that
lead
was too
4-1
easy.
first set.
Yep, lots of volunteers, and I just want to give a shout out to the head of the volunteers for the Charities, who works under John Noble, which is the tournament director, Anne and Walter Fick, and Stephanie and Craig Hopman are inside the hut with our tour director, Jackie Cameron. And I mean, it's just a well-oiled machine. Everybody knows their part.
Irdoja serving down 4-1.
15 love.
The door's gone away from the underhand serve.
15 all.
The miss there.
Back-to-back misses from
15.
Czerwinski. You'll see that once or twice this season. 30-15. Oh, what a get. Boy, Burus moves so well for a big guy. Just haven't seen much offense from the backcourt from Burus and Irdoja.
Yeah, the lobs have to get a little bit deeper, a little higher. They haven't hit their spots quite yet, so they haven't been able to push the team out of position. There's one right there.
We were talking about this in the semi-final, well, after the semi-final, that we feel like the deep lobs are not the majority that we're seeing in the tour. We're seeing short lobs, and
We watched Drew Broderick for 2 days at that block lob that went nowhere.
yeah, allowing the net player to hit all of their overheads inside the service box. But to your point, Max, get that ball back, move. It's like moving the chess pieces around, try to cause a little bit of confusion, try to open up the court.
Yeah, the lobs have been very defensive so far. Short and really reacting rather than being more proactive with those lobs, moving the players around.
There's Czerwinski, both feet on the left side of the center hash, hitting that forehand. And McNerney looked pretty good there,
Yeah,
moving
he's-
across the court.
He's definitely loosened up.
Great job by Burus there.
And that's what you want to see in terms of testing his movement, which you mentioned earlier, Max.
Right,
Yes.
great shot because he went at him. So he had to
Exactly.
get out of his own way and then chase it up the side screen.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous
30
shot.
all.
Below the net, too far away. He's forcing it.
Oh, that's a volley you don't see McNerney miss very often. Yeah,
He's
40,
usually
30.
not that
something to do
far
with
back
that.
off the net, right? He's
Yeah. Boy, Irdoja is
Score is
missing a
deuce.
lot of balls right now. There's Czerwinski again, way in the center side of the hash mark.
just doing everything to keep that ball away from Czerwinski's forehand.
Burus didn't call that blitz out. You just have to keep your eyes on McNerney to avoid the blitzing. The great probing drives there from Czerwinski. And then he unleashes the hammer. But if you're Burus and Irdoja, you know that's the spot you have to avoid.
Right. That's just a routine, hard side back
Advantage, Irdoja.
overhead that Burus stays perfectly still, lets that ball come out, and Irdoja's there with his forehand.
That's great,
Great
get.
get. You
Score
can
is
see how the
deuce.
lefty Irdoja has a hard time serving to the outside. The ball spins out of the screen and bounces high. Leads to an easy forehand return by Graham.
Some positive energy from there from
Advantage for
Irdoja
Irdoja.
after the Czerwinski miss.
Max, you think that's why he served the first two serves to the outside?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And my guess is he couldn't quite find a rhythm with the top spin roller serve,
Yeah.
and had to go back to just a regular kick serve.
But that's why he did it, is to stop that attack.
Exactly. It's a good
Catches the
roller.
nick. Great trail play by McNerney. Yeah, that's a bad decision from that
Burus,
deep in the
Irdoja.
court.
McNerney, Czerwinski lead 4-2 first set.
First hold for
That was a pivotal hold for those guys. Needed to reverse that momentum.
oh, what a volley.
And
You really like that volley. You're clapping for
15
it.
love.
the chicken wing volley.
I mean, he grabbed it.
Wow. See Burus looking for the blitz. McNerney watching him carefully. Great net coverage.
Another
Again.
great volley.
He's caught him between his legs. That is a dangerous play.
Burus was squealing like a little kid. Like a little kid in the
30
grocery
love.
store who lost his mom.
He actually started screaming before he got hit.
Yeah.
Can that shot make it to the highlight reel with that?
Or
It's a
maybe the
skill
low
set.
light reel for Burus.
It's a skill set. Catch it between your legs. Oof. So mentally,
40 love.
So that last forehand,
Morris
Jerry,
Irdoja.
great example to me. Czerwinski makes those two volleys. Burus tries to, Irdoja tries to go a little further over,
right.
forces the error.
For them to win, for Burus Irdoja to win, they really have to turn this into a grinding match.
Game,
They really have to
Czerwinski,
grind
McNerney.
out the next
They lead
couple
5-2
games, couple
first set.
points,
New ball.
and really change the tempo. It's still too fast.
And that's what we saw in the semifinals. There was a willingness to
Sure.
really just be patient and hang in there and wait for the right shot. Max, as you're the head of the tournament committee? What's your
Correct.
official title there?
Super committee.
Super committee. So we have a new APTA initiative this year about the lottery.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, it's amazing. We're giving away $2,000 in travel expenses to players that have applied to the lottery, and $2,000 per tournament. $1,000 for the men and $1,000 for the women.
And
It's been an amazing initiative. I've had so many players come up and say thank you, and now I can travel to this next tournament.
guess
I believe Sven is
he
a
did.
recipient of
Yes.
the travel lottery.
that's what I was leading to. So
And we look to continue that trend into the following season. A lot of players have requested it. It's a very simple process. You apply early in the season for any of the tournaments you think you'd like to travel to, and we pick the winners ahead of time. And
You picked them
it's great.
personally, Max?
no, I do not. Even though I'm French, I cannot be bribed. I believe Anshidi is responsible for picking the winners. She's wonderful and does an amazing job.
That's a
Yes,
ball
so-
Irdoja's got to let his partner
yeah,
play.
he was right there.
Love 15.
You've definitely seen Irdoja trying to do too much out there. Boy, they're just working in sync so
12:30.
beautifully. Czerwinski started moving forward as soon as he saw that high ball. He was partners going to be able to drive it, and he followed it in.
We also haven't seen Irdoja and Burus talk a lot about changing the strategy. They haven't really got together and they haven't done anything different so far. I'll be curious to see if towards the end of this set, or maybe if they were to lose this set, change the strategy going forward.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. You know, new team, who's going to
captain
be
is.
the captain on this team as far as that is? You know, McNerney's got stat after stat after stat. I had a fun interview with them at the Lake
15:30.
Invitational where Modik was basically rolling his eyes at, you know, we got all the stats. I do whatever I do, but then McNerney's got all the plays.
So that last point, Burus hit the drop shot. McNerney didn't even make a play on it. Be interesting
30
to see
all.
if they keep up that strategy and test his movement.
Yeah, because he loves to drive the ball off the high back screen, but if he's not, because he doesn't have his feet under him.
When Burus and Irdoja switch like this in the backcourt, they don't almost never make an attempt to switch back.
Well, I actually like them this way. They take away more of the court. Burus can set up more backhands in the middle, and he likes that. And Mick can still move around quite a bit. I think they'll set up more offense that way.
And it's a good play, I think, to change the look of the court too.
Nothing wrong with it as a strategy.
Sure.
Just don't see Burus looking for that backhand here at all.
Oh, great play by
ball
Mick.
there.
40-30.
Very important game, important point if they can get to 5-3 and put a little pressure on Czerwinski and McNerney.
Game, Burus, Irdoja, McNerney, Czerwinski.
Irdoja
lead
is without
5-3
question one of the most
first set.
expressive players on the tour.
All
Lots
right,
of noise.
Modik Czerwinski serving for the first set, 5-3.
Great exchange. I thought Irdoja was going to go for the big cut backhand there.
Well, that's it. Modik came
Great point.
all the way over.
Love 15.
Czerwinski.
But his forehand is some shot, Czerwinski. Missed that one, but just caught the top of the tape. Boy, that's a tough miss on a ball you're
15
really
all.
not committed to hitting.
You
Yeah,
can see that a heavy, tough spin ball just overwhelms Sven. It's just a little late. Needs to catch it more in front. Really step into the court.
But he wasn't really swinging at it either.
Yeah, it's a little tentative.
Now you see Czerwinski, McNerney on the opposite sides. And Mark, they were doing that in the semi-final, right? When they got switched over
Yep.
and didn't look to switch back.
They were looking to switch into that position a number of times. Great lob there from McNerney. And here they switch at the net.
There's a big backhand. Good setup.
Again,
Let it
Irdoja is
go.
allowed to let the ball
Don't
through.
let it go.
30-15.
It was a right move, put pressure on that dink, but when it's coming back at your feet, let it go through, let your partner get it.
And Burus had a routine play on it.
Look how Burus is setting up to return serve.
Oh, great pickup from Czerwinski. Wow, great movement.
30 all.
Big win for France in the
Oh.
Fed Cup today, Jerry.
Oh, that's painful.
Who did they beat in the final?
Beat Australia?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh my God. We made a mistake asking the Frenchman to come in and sit with me today. No. Congratulations to France beating Australia in the Women's Fed Cup in our home
30-40.
Perth.
Oh, that's gotta hurt, Jerry.
You want to ask that question again next?
Lauren said I shouldn't feel bad because Ash Barty's had a wonderful, wonderful year. Finishing
you
number
go.
1.
Did that help?
No. She told me not to feel bad, so I do listen to
Score
Lauren.
is deuce.
Missed lob there from Burus. Chance to get back on serve.
That was Anna Zabori's fault too.
That woman holds a lot of passports.
How big is this point?
Yeah, I'd say that's the most important point of the set so far.
Until the next point.
Oh.
That's his play. He likes that move. He read it.
Advantage, Burus.
Right move or wrong move, Max?
At that point in the match, wrong move. The ball had not got above the net. He was stretched. He wasn't set. That's a lob every time off the side wire.
Boy,
Another
you
huge
just
mistake.
can't do that.
Score is deuce.
Yeah, he's going across. He needs to go in.
But
One
again, he
step forward.
wasn't committed to the swing. He's still guiding the ball anyway. Oh boy.
Oh,
Great hands.
nice shovel flick there.
Here comes the roller.
Boy, he got away with that once. Do not like that hard roller into the Czerwinski corner. Yeah, great move by McNerney. He catches him there.
Advantage, Czerwinski.
2 lobs missed long this game from Burus. A couple of returns missed.
Set point.
See, to me, that return is a waste.
He gets it out of position.
Yeah,
the
there's
next
just
shot.
no goal, nothing there. Lob the ball if you're going to do that.
Oh, that's too good.
Oh,
One set
Shot
point.
McNerney.
Game in first set.
wow.
Czerwinski, McNerney.
Big move. So, Mark, interesting
6-3.
first set.
Yeah,
Weren't sure if McNerney was going to be able to come out of that rolled ankle, but he seems to, his movement's not 100% clearly, but he's not hopping around like he was for that first
yeah,
game
agreed.
or
Be
two.
interesting to see if Burus and Irdoja can kind of settle down a little bit. Just played too many loose points that set to compete at this
Yeah,
level.
I'm good. We're fine.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back after these messages right here on the APTA network presented by ENAT Live.
The world of Rolex is filled with stories of perpetual excellence. For Rolex and tennis, the tradition began in 1978 and has grown to include the most iconic majors and tournaments since, supporting the legends, champions, and rising stars committed to the future of the game. This is a story of perpetual excellence, the story of Rolex.
You can't put wings on a car. You can't see an accident coming. Or walk away from one like this. You can't make a car talk.
How can I help you?
You can't fight gravity. And you can't make one of the world's best SUVs even better. Go on, tell us what else you can't do. The all-new GLS.
Are you ready to go?
Possibly the safest, most spacious, most Mercedes SUV ever made. Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Okay, welcome back to the APT Grand Prix Series. We just finished the first set of the finals of the Chicago Charity. First set to Czerwinski McNerney 6-3 over Burus Irdoja. Max, any thoughts on the set?
Yeah, again, I think the pace of play right now is still favoring Czerwinski and McNerney. Pace is fast, and they like fast points, and it allows them to generate a lot of offense that way. I think Mick and Sven need to play slower and pick the right drives rather than forcing it.
Max, talk to me a little about some of the other things you're doing. I understand that you now own a trophy company?
That's
Is
correct.
that the hat I
Clark
see?
Trophies.
Clark Trophies?
Yes.
What do you guys do?
We do everything from events, kids trophies, we do plaques, we work a lot with schools, with country clubs, we ship everywhere in the country. We're located in Stamford, Connecticut, and most of our business is in the tri-state area, but we've recently expanded to Chicago and a little bit more in Long Island, which we really weren't before.
Favors? You guys doing favors also?
We do just about everything, but mostly we do favors. We do a lot of functional items for events as well, such as cutting boards, wine glasses, a lot of really high-end trophies, which is great.
And if I was interested in getting some trophies from you, how would I go about doing that?
You mean buying your own trophies?
No, buying one for you, Jerry.
Would you like to buy some trophies, Mark?
It's the only way I can get any trophies is
You'd
buy
go-
them.
We have a website. It's called Clark Trophies at clarktrophies.com. We're on Instagram and Facebook as well at Clark Trophies. And you can also contact me at orders@clarktrophies.com.
Good luck with the venture. I'm excited for you.
I am as well. It's great. It's been amazing and such great synergy with me being in tennis and getting to be around all my friends and directors. It's great. We're looking forward to a successful year.
Awesome. Okay, here we go. Second set. Irdoja Burus to serve. And let's see if they can find their footing, because they looked a little uncomfortable to me in that first set.
Tough draw. Gets hung up on the back screen.
Going with the overhand serve, Max. To
Yeah,
the
here we go
outside,
again.
so-
Should set up Graham for an easy drive.
There's that blitz. And no communication from Irdoja. But McNerney does that as well as anybody in the game these days. Just a great sense when to move forward. But those are not easy volleys.
I'm just saying, look how Czerwinski
service
just
line.
moseys in. He's on the service line. A little bit like, Drew Broderick can volley back off the service line. I watched him, he warms up practicing that volley, but he makes
The benefit of that is when a hard drive comes in, it's a little harder to read whether the drive's going. It's a little easier to read whether the drive's going in or out. And if it's a big thump, you have the option now to let it go off the screen and most likely drive off the screen. That's the main benefit in playing that far back.
And the big downside
Is
You
that
have
your
to
feet
volley
are
out.
exposed? Your feet are exposed,
and you have to volley out.
and you have to volley up on the ball.
And
15,
Burus caught him
40.
last point and missed the volley on the cross. Surprised Irdoja's not serving a little harder. Well, now he's 2 feet behind the service line. I think he's just showing off now, Jerry.
You know what? He's got 3 little guys at home watching. Who they were actually here this morning for the first time, but they've gone home for their nap. So a little shout out to William, Asher, and Oliver Czerwinski. They're big followers of the live stream. Watch their dad play.
And their dad is playing some great paddle right now. Was the best player in the court in the semis, and that's continued in the finals.
Oh,
That's
Just
too good.
can't drive the
Game,
ball from that
Czerwinski,
deep in the
McNerney,
court
they
with
lead 1
McNerney
love,
on the
second
net.
set. They won the first.
I'm amazed at the quality of paddle year after year. The all 4 of these guys are amazing. The shots that they're making, the quality from year to year has continued to grow, and you see more and more players with all these shot making abilities. It used to be 1 or 2 guys that could do, you know, hit all these great shots, and now it seems like anybody in the top 10 can do so much with the ball.
but still 80% of the game is that team chemistry, that mental toughness, knowing the strategy,
Absolutely.
covering the court.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can have all the shots in the world, as we've seen, but if you don't have that chemistry and that mental toughness, the razzle-dazzle is only going to get you so far.
That's correct.
Czerwinski with another unbelievable volley on that first ball. And there's reaching too far. We've seen that both from Burus
15
and
love.
Irdoja.
Yeah, the transition points, Czerwinski and McNerney are really good at winning points in transition. It's very hard to take over the net against them. Again.
Haven't seen much of a change from Burus and Irdoja. I mean, it's early in the set, but they seem to be doing the same
15
thing.
all.
Well, again, it starts with good lobbing. The lobs are still a little too short. They need to move the locations around, and all of a sudden you'll see they should be able to set up a little more offense. Right now the lobs are shallow and inside the service line.
Great volley from McNerney. I mean, there's a ball that Burus hit down on, a good move, caught him behind the service line, and still to no avail. This is the best volleying team in the country right now, Max?
They're definitely up there. They anticipate really well. I think Hughes and Powers are another good one. Mark Powers makes so many volleys. So does John.
For years and years, it's been Broderick Palmer. And McNerney's really working him with that cut overhead. Just in survival mode
Yeah,
now.
they're just doing a great job of their overhead placements. They're just not giving them a look.
Oh, look at that volley from Czerwinski. That was hard.
They look comfortable, don't they?
Yeah,
They look
They
too
really do.
comfortable if you're Burus
30,
and
15.
Irdoja. Doing anything they want right now.
they look even so much more relaxed than I saw them at the Lake Invitational a few weeks ago.
That was a better thump by Burus. That's the way he has to hit that backhand.
Committed to that shot.
Yes.
Oh. Were you letting that ball go, Max?
Yes, that was going out. Graham was standing a little too tall. Felt he needed to make a play for the volley.
I think that's an advantage or disadvantage being tall. I mean, you being one of the shorter guys in the court.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that.
Yeah, that's good.
I
I'll
thi-
hit
I
him
think-
from this side.
I think you have to find a middle ground. Being too tall can be a disadvantage. Easy to hit down, up, overheads. But again, being too short, it's easy to pull you off the net.
Look, is there anybody who gets closer to the net
40-15.
hitting volleys than McNerney? I mean,
Not
he
in
is
my book.
right on the net.
Well, interestingly enough, he only gets close to the net when he sees the draft coming. Otherwise, he plays further back. He's
Yeah.
great. He's great at anticipating.
Yeah, I mean, he sets himself right there.
Just lift up the left leg, let the ball go through. Oh,
You have that move.
that was a confident shot there from Czerwinski.
40-30.
The fake lob, little last second flick. They are feeling very comfortable right now.
Yeah, Czerwinski really.
They have to be careful with that too, not getting it out of the rhythm. When things are going great, tendency is to overplay and get too confident. Like that.
Yeah.
Good call, Max.
Score is deuce.
You've had that experience?
More than I care to admit.
No, it's a good point. I mean, at this level of play, we see it time and time again. Matches just turn on a dime.
What seemed like a casual hold might turn into a break.
And that was one of Modic's issues earlier in his career, where he'd hit a lot of shots that were low percentage at times, bad moments in matches.
Oh,
Great exchange.
And we've got a break point.
Advantage, Burus.
Could be that momentum change they're looking for. What do you think Sven does here? Does he step up and rip it?
yes.
Hit the last few. I'm going to say he's going to hit this one too.
I agree.
And there you go.
Great drive by
Game,
Burus.
Burus,
Leads
Irdoja.
to the break.
Score is
Little
1-all,
momentum
second
change.
set.
Was that
McNerney, Czerwinski won the first.
40-15?
40-15,
Yeah.
and at 40-15, Czerwinski tried kind of a silly little
Yeah.
forehand flick from deep in the court. And all of a sudden, we're back on serve.
Wow.
Lob volley on the baseline.
Irdoja's down.
Burus is known for making weird sounds when he's scrambling, trying to retrieve screen shots.
Great recovery there from both of them.
It's a great serve.
That was a tremendous serve.
Does Burus have the best serve in the country to the ad court?
30,
I
love.
think he's up there. Yep, definitely top three.
Great first volley from Burus. Match
40,
really
love.
seems to have turned
6 points in a row.
ever since that little flick. A
There we
great
go.
Volley.
Game, Burus, Irdoja. They lead.
Boy, did that
2-1,
match just
second
turn
set.
around.
It is
Czerwinski won the first.
amazing.
1-0 up. Felt like Irdoja and Burus were kind of out of it, ready to
Yeah.
pack their bags, and now they're thinking, we're in this.
And
it's
look at the
just-
smiling between the two of them as they're changing sides. Little laughter.
Yeah, that's what I saw. That really jumped out at me at the semifinals in the third set. I was sitting, courtside, and you had just finished your match, and they were laughing and chatting and loose and light, and I was like, wow, Burus was keeping Mick right there. And that's such a huge part of the game. And we talk about the physicality and we talk about the strategy, but it is the mental focus that it requires, that you have to stay in that zone for so long.
Wasn't that what makes the great players?
Yeah.
Oh, big rolling backhand by Irdoja.
With a grunt behind it. I think that grunt makes the ball travel faster.
I was just gonna say, absolutely.
Clearly. Oh, That's his shot.
15
He didn't
love.
step in.
Yeah, got to move a little into the court. But boy, it
Waited
was
for the
set
ball
up
to come to
perfectly.
him.
Nice touch.
30 love.
But Burus got himself in trouble there. Had to short hop a ball and hit a bad lob.
Just a little wide.
30
Definitely
15.
looks like the ankle's impacting the serve. It's really not pushing off it.
30 all.
And the way he serves, that front foot's where all the push is coming from. For you. Remember you asked me earlier about how far Irdoja would come over to
I
hit
did.
forehands, Jerry?
Yeah. Yes.
Does that answer the question?
Yes.
Do you think it's
You
as
should caught two.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just as far as when one plays with you?
Yes. Because there's no further you can come than that. Well, that's a dangerous shot from that deep in the court.
You can see the confidence has grown on Burus and Irdoja. Taking more swings, making smarter decision.
More definite with their lob placements.
Yep.
So you look at these two back to back. Czerwinski's out of the service box. That's 3 in a row.
Good spot.
Great forehand volley from Czerwinski. Irdoja hit a great ball. I'd like to see them lobbing McNerney a little more, testing the ankle.
Oh, he had
I thought
it.
he was going around the net.
He's trying.
Yeah.
They're referring to the one that was on the bump last
And
year.
You can see the
Cincinnati.
great sportsmanship out there. Guys are
40 30.
giving each other high fives. The
Yeah.
camaraderie out here is great. All great friends.
3 faults this game
Score
for
is
him.
deuce.
I really think the ankle's impacting
No,
the
you.
serve.
I agree, Mark. 100%.
Oh,
There's your better communication. Burus warns Irdoja that McNerney is
Vantage
blitzing.
Burus.
Chance to get up a break.
Czerwinski looks a little bit like he's back down to me
Deuce.
mentally. Doesn't look quite as sharp at this point.
Boy, that backhand
Vantage
return miss
McNerney.
by Irdoja by Burus on the break point looms large.
for your
Game,
viewers out
Czerwinski,
here,
McNerney
it's
scores
very
2
important
all,
to
second
understand
set.
the value of
Czerwinski,
the
McNerney won the
points.
first.
Even though each point counts as one, the value is different based on where the players are in the match. 5-5 point in the third set is way more valuable than a 0-0 first game point. You just don't want to waste them. Yep.
He
15
just
love.
wasn't missing those shots early in the match. If I was McNerney, I'd
Oh,
just give him a little, fist pump, little cheering out. Feels like he needs to be lifted up a little bit right now to me.
30
He's
love.
semi-stroppy.
That's not Stroppy. Stroppy is kicking stones. He just seems a little bit.
Stroppy is Araya-esque.
Yeah, Stroppy is when you're physically showing that you're not happy. Your head's down, you're shaking your head, you're letting everybody know that you're not thrilled with how you're playing. I don't see that from Modic at all. I just don't think he has quite as much fire. The energy level needs to come up a little bit.
This beautiful backhand from Burus, a little tighter there.
Do you think he's upset that he let those guys back in and that game where he
Maybe.
wasted those points?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's where we saw the change. He needs to just forget about it.
And a big forehand through there.
You've seen him switch at the net, looking to set up Mark.
Ooh.
Great forehand
Burus
volley from
he
McNerney
picks
there.
up that left knee. And
And there we go. Really leans into it.
40
Yeah.
love.
Loads.
Well done by Burus. He's looking like a different player right now.
And there Irdoja
Game,
recognizing the
Burus,
trouble.
Irdoja. They lead 3-2.
McNerney caught in
second set.
transition, too far off the net to
Czerwinski
make that
won
volley.
first.
Boy, he's kind of
ball.
limping a little bit there.
yeah, he is.
Changing sides. Interesting match.
Well, we said that from the beginning, before we even came on air. I'm like, I don't even know how this is going to play out. Like, I'm not sure what the tactic's going to be.
I don't know that we're further along at this point
Well,
either. 14 games in.
I think the ankle has a little bit to do
Clearly.
with the play, so it's hard to call apples to apples. But one thing's for sure, Burus and Irdoja are in this match.
Letting McNerney hold serve last time after 3 faults that hurt, letting that game get away.
$15 love.
Big serve by Czerwinski.
Yeah, but you can't afford to miss backhand drives. And if you're really going for it, that's one thing. But that was more of a push than anything else.
Pick up by Burus. Here it comes. No.
I'm surprised he didn't hit that one, Max. I was with you. That's an interesting decision.
Hit that so casually. This makes it look easy.
Nice deep lob by Irdoja.
And you could see how tentatively McNerney went back after. Oh, another between the legs shot.
Burus Irdoja is showing a lot of patience right now.
Good job by Mick. Just to get out of the way. Let the overhead through.
Oh,
Great point.
30 love.
But it all started with the waterfall overhead, which McNerney spiked. Boy,
40
Irdoja with
love.
2 missed returns this game. Oh, what a pickup. I think those first two shots to the point that Burus or Irdoja hit win the point against virtually anybody else in the country.
how was that hold
What'd I do?
by Czerwinski?
Gay, McNerney,
that backhand.
Czerwinski scores
Right,
3 all second
his
set.
paddle was set for, it felt like 10
Czerwinski.
minutes, and then he just
McNerney won the first.
3-0. Second set, Czerwinski. McNerney got the first set 6-3.
Love 15.
Bad break there for Burus. Czerwinski catches the leg court. Easy winner.
Where Irdoja gets caught off
Love,
the net
30.
there. Smart play by McNerney. If they're not careful, this match is going to be over in about 10 minutes.
15,
That's a
30.
big miss. That'll help the cause.
Yo!
Oh,
Great move from McNerney. That's that signature play he's got. Yeah, I think the water's going down the drain faster.
40,
and
15.
McNerney comes up the court. Notice his hands are up.
Excuse me,
ready
15,
to go.
40. Excuse me. 15, 40.
2 break points.
Great serve there from
30,
Burus.
40.
Czerwinski got all twisted up like a pretzel.
I'm not sure McNerney got out of his way fast enough, too.
Yeah, it could've-
Like
it could
he was
be.
like hesitating where he was going to be.
If they can find their way out of this game, that would be large.
Got to let that go through.
Yeah, but that was
crazy.
a lucky sequence.
Score is
Irdoja hit
deuce.
that hard roller. It came out to the Czerwinski forehand. Just didn't quite get all the ball.
That was a big forehand.
Advantage McNerney.
Felt like he took some frustration out on that ball.
Oh, what a get.
Oh,
Now that's loss of points
That's a loss of a point.
to the striker. But they're not making the call.
What happened?
Well, he hit the hard overhead, which came off the back wire and went into the net,
Score is deuce.
which broke the plane.
that should be Czerwinski and McNerney's
Yeah.
point.
Unless it hit McNerney. What do you think of that rule, Max?
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Not that you were asking me, but
What do you think of that rule, Jerry?
I don't like it.
Why do you like it, Jerry?
Well, Mark, otherwise I think we'd see a pounding overhead. They're trying to thump it so it comes back into the net.
That's a
You
hard
like
thing
it?
to do. I do like it. I think it really accelerates the pace of play, punishes short lobs.
Yeah, these days though, it's a little too easy.
Wow, that one went out of the court as we see it bouncing in front of us. Mick was in all sorts of trouble there.
Advantage Burus.
Another break, another hold opportunity.
That would be a huge hold. Another great serve by Burus.
Yeah, Burus should not have come in behind that ball. He gets away with it. You gotta wait to see if your partner takes over the net.
No.
Oh, that was
Score is
painful,
deuce.
Max. Played such a good point and get to that point, that juncture, and then just slap a forehand out by 3 feet.
I think his grip stayed on Continental the whole time.
It's just mistakes like that you cannot afford.
Points are too important.
Advantage
McNerney
McNerney.
just sneaks in there and he gets so low. I mean, for a tall guy, that was a really difficult volley.
Great sense of when to blitz.
Yeah.
Boy, Burus just fires that serve in.
And you know it's a great serve when your opponent has to hit a lob. I mean, that's 2 lob returns he's had to hit.
How'd they miss him there? Here it comes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Burus is covering up.
Interesting look by Burus there.
He was
They won the
turned
first.
before he even started the
3.
swing. You could see, I was just about to say, you could see the spark coming back in Czerwinski.
Once again, we heard a little squeal before he got hit.
Do you teach that volleying position at Stanwich, Max?
No, we don't teach that way. We teach the proper way. We hold the net. Stay squared.
So if Czerwinski McNerney pull this match out, it'll be their 2nd win on the Grand Prix Tour.
And
Back
give
to
them a
back.
huge lead in the Blanchard Cup standings.
Talk a little bit about the
Well,
Blanchard
we're
Cup.
going to Cincinnati for their next stop in early January. And the most points accumulated, I guess it's your 4 best results, Max, in the 5 Grand Prix.
4
That's
serve
correct.
and 3.
They're added up, and the team that has the most wins the Blanchard Cup. Juan Araya is the only one who's won it twice. Besides Max.
I was just
Thank-
about to say
thank
that.
you.
And love.
And the Grand Prix Tour, those tournaments were set up like, this is our 4th year for the Grand Prix Tour. That'd be like the Grand Slam of the paddle.
I believe that's year 4.
15 all.
That's the type of point Czerwinski and McNerney have been so good at staying in, giving so little away in transition. So stark when you see a mistake from them because they're making so few. A lot of talking all of a sudden on serve.
Well,
It's a big game. You want to consolidate your lead.
and also he has been struggling on his serve, right? We saw
Yep.
that last service game. He had 2 faults.
3.
3 faults.
Great pickup.
Oh,
There it is, this plastic man overhead.
yeah. You just cannot hit that
extended
down
arm.
next to him.
15-30.
Yeah, it just baited Graham into hitting that shot. Very smart.
It's 15-30. Boy, you feel like Burus or Irdoja have to have this game. It's never over till he's shaking hands, but this would be a big hold.
Smart shot.
So he waited for Mick to
30
commit
all.
to the drop shot, and then played the soft, deep volley. Great patience by Graham.
And still volleyed that ball above the level of the net.
Wow, forehand volley, backing up on the service line. I like that call.
Yep, forced him into making that error again.
Yeah, that was
McNerney
clearly
saw Irdoja moving up the side
30,
screen.
40.
Felt like he needed to hit a better shot. Ended up hitting it too hard. Great move by Irdoja, creating that error. Rushed it. Rushed it.
Score is deuce.
those are the points you cannot give away.
Too important.
And that was just a routine ball, and he played himself out of position.
That's kind of been the
Story of the
Man,
match.
the story of the
McNerney.
match. The big points have been won by Czerwinski and McNerney.
Yep, all of them.
That's such a smart play.
Gabe,
there,
Czerwinski,
to
McNerney,
put that
they lead
ball back
5-3.
behind.
Second
Yeah,
set, they
it
won
was,
first.
but that's 3 consecutive points at the important juncture of the match. They just kind of gave away. Wasn't Czerwinski and McNerney didn't do anything to win those points. Okay, they'll serve to stay in the match. Just another unbelievable half volley.
Oh,
What are you doing, Graham? That's an
Exactly.
excellent description for that shot.
15
He
love.
had 1 foot on the green on the other side of the court, and he crossed to the far alley to try and make the volley
and he said it so quickly because he knew you'd be saying it up here.
with his bad ankle, no less.
What are you doing cutting across?
30 love.
Fabulous camera angle.
Deep.
A missed volley by Czerwinski. He can't believe it.
40
I can't
love.
believe it either. There's that slap forehand spike.
The flying Estonian.
Look at those volleys.
Oh, what a drive-by volley grab. Do you think when
40,
they keep their
15.
left arm dangling down straight, we were talking about Chris Gambino, he
Yep.
used to play, so it even adds to the look of being more casual, and they're kind of just poking at the ball and then...
Nerdy
Easy
missed the
hold.
overhead.
Gabe, Burus, McNerney, Czerwinski, McNerney lead
Czerwinski
5-4.
will serve for the
second set.
title.
They won the first.
Hey Max, we were talking earlier, a lot of the players leaving towels and bottles on the court, and we actually saw one ball hit a bottle that was still in play. Do you think it's something the APTA's got to address?
Yeah, I mean the players are so athletic, they can run everything down. I think anything that your house should be off the court or at least by the entrance gate.
Yeah, I really
I've
think
run into
that's
those
something-
towels multiple times.
Yeah, I really think that's something we got to do.
Maybe a designated area for the players' gear. Very important first point.
He's got to do a better job spotting that drive. I mean, that just hit McNerney's left hip where his paddle was sitting. Got to be more down the line.
Off balance drive, moving over to the right.
15 love.
Just
What
a
a-
bad decision.
Hit that
wasn't set.
drive with your weight going forward.
But more importantly, he wasn't set for it. He has to anticipate it sooner so he can get his feet set.
No, that's a really well spotted drive. See if McNerney tends to challenge one of these. Move into the court and catch it early. See him moving around a little bit, looking for that shot.
Just Keeping it away from the Czerwinski forehand.
There's the move, but they have the answer for it.
15
Yeah,
off.
they've really isolated Czerwinski. They've done a better
Yeah.
job in that second set. Czerwinski hasn't seen that many balls. Kind of freezing him. Force McNerney to win the points. It's a good strategy. A rare forehand hit by Burus.
Yeah.
Boy, that was going over the fence. Hard to let those go when you're in such close quarters, though.
That's a good lob by Burus.
But then Irdoja doesn't move to get the forehand. Well, that was close.
No. Got away with that one.
The sequence of deeper lobs, Max, that you were talking about.
Yep, set up your offense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Good eye.
30-15.
there's not much intent on generating too much offense at that point.
That brings
missed
us up
lobs.
to match
40-15.
point. 40-15.
$40-30.
Match point number 2. Oh, Irdoja with a
There it
point.
is.
Wow.
And there's
Set
the
back.
match.
Czerwinski, McNerney, 6-3, 6-4.
So we have a 2019 Chicago Charities champions,
Back-to-back Grand Prix.
back-to-back Grand Prix, and they've
Thanks,
established
fellas. A lot of
themselves,
fun
at least
watching.
early, as the team to beat.
So we're going to, Mark, we're going to send you down. Max, where are you going? We're going to do the recap while Mark goes down, and we'll set up for the interview.
I'm here.
You and
He's
I got to
so
chat a
slick.
little bit more.
You got to watch him carefully,
I know he's
Jerry.
quick. You told me that. And we'd like to do another thank you to our sponsor. Viking Athletics is the premier brand and the undisputed leader in the platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty Platform Ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA, Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour. The official paddle
all
of the
that.
APTA, engineered to provide superior feel and the perfect balance of power, control, spin, and durability. The Viking paddle is the official paddle of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour. And Max, speaking of the Nationals, we're going to be going back to the Country Club of Darien in March.
That's correct.
And-
an amazing venue and co-directors Carl Levenott, Mark Fischel, and Tiernan Kavanagh chairing the 2020 Nationals.
And maybe, while we have a minute, talk about the new format that the APTA is
The
doing
64
from
draw.
the men's side. Yeah.
On the men's side, they're breaking the draws into two 64 draws, a premier and an open draw. The top 64 teams will go into the premier draw, and everyone else will go into an open draw. Great initiative, which ties in with the PTI, the Platform Tennis Index, which now offers, how many nationals do we have now? 10 or 11 different nationals based on the PTI indexes.
Right.
Which is great. It's amazing. It's giving everyone a chance to win nationals, which is great. A club player, my Stanwich men and ladies are so excited about the opportunity to potentially win the nationals.
Yeah, it's really it's including everybody, and it's a good test out. We want to thank Uline. Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to the business throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience. And I believe we are ready with Mark Fischel is down there with our winners. He's going to interview them.
Okay, I'm joined by the winners of the 2019 Chicago Charities, Marek Czerwinski and Graham McNerney. Graham, first question, how's the ankle?
The ankle hurt, a little tender, but it actually kind of helped us out because it kind of calmed me down, slowed, made me pick my spots a little better, and then it gives Marek free reign to do whatever he wants. So it actually kind of helped us in the first set. Second set, it got a little more tender. It hurt a little bit on the serve in particular, but I think it's going to be okay.
That Czerwinski forehand is, whoa, man. We couldn't tell the difference between the sound of your forehand and the sound of the skeet shooting out there.
It felt good. I was willing to take some cuts in there and seeing the ball pretty well. So, Graham's really good with that he just keeps encouraging me with it. He's just like, hey, take your cuts when you have them. He realizes that, it helps just to get in rhythm with it. And eventually, if I just take some cuts, make a couple misses in there, I'm going to make more than I miss.
You looked like you guys were absolutely cruising after you broke to start the second set, and then you got a little bit loose in that game you served at 1-love. It almost looked like you got a little too confident at that point.
Yeah, it did get a little loose. There's a couple errors in there. I actually started overhitting a little bit, right? I got the balls that I wanted to get and overhit on a couple drives, missed a couple in there, and that's exactly what I told Graham. I'm like, I just got to calm it down a little bit, taper it down.
Graham, when are we going to see you guys again?
That's a good question. We haven't figured out the second half. So we got some other things going on, but we're definitely going to play some more Grand Prix and Nationals for sure. So you'll see us around. I'll be playing a couple more with Mick, actually, and some other guys, but you'll see us around.
Okay, well, our next event on the Grand Prix Tour is in Cincinnati in early January, and that's a wrap, delivered by Uline. Congrats, guys.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it.